Holy that storm is where we're coming down through this afternoon.
The further he drives,
Up, here we go.
the greater the threat of a 70-ton bogging.
You can see the marks. Some. Ooh, 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 wait. Yeah.
Slow down here and he'll sink.
It's just sliding on top. Because I don't think we're going to make this. Come on.
So this is the basic pad of what we've got, and you can see this is where the big switch room is going to go.
Mega trucker Mark Cromwell and his team are delivering an $8 million high-tech power station far from home. They've just arrived in Weno, in the Federated States of Micronesia. A tiny Pacific island, 7,000 kilometres from their base in Adelaide. For the first time ever, the new power station will provide around-the-clock electricity to the 14,000 islanders.
Power brings opportunity. The people on the island are very optimistic.
Weno may look like an island paradise, but for a trucker, it's far from it.
Probably the hardest, by far, without doubt, this job.
Extreme tropical weather and crumbling infrastructure make this developing country a very difficult place to transport the most basic freight, let alone a 335-ton power station.
It's a very tight site and no manoeuvrability due to being on the edge of a hill.
From the port, Mark must move 14 massive parts to the installation site in the middle of the island. At a little over 1 kilometre, it's the shortest trucking journey in his 25-year career. But it's the toughest. It's the final destination itself, which is Mark's biggest challenge.
This is our entrance.
After getting in the gate,
We have that much either side.
he then has this.
Doesn't actually look that steep, but it is about an 8% gradient.
And then a sharp hairpin turn before the landing pad. Through, up and around. It's a monumental manoeuvre for the 3 heaviest parts of the power station, all weighing more than 50 tonnes.
Due to the size and how slow we have to go.
Item 1 in Mark's long list of problems.
Well, we're getting in the festive season. Hello.
Unblocking the only exit from the port. The local supermarket owner has had this freezer trailer parked here for over a year.
Critically going to stop us from getting any of this stuff out from the wharf.
Mark's come to make sure it gets moved, one way or the other.
I can't wait to see these wheels roll. Every tyre is just about flat on the whole show. I think there's maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 with some air in them. I think they might have done this before. Oh, he's not waiting. Well, now we can actually fit down here.
The route is clear, but with 2 hectic weeks ahead, Mark's not relaxing yet.
We got the boat coming in tomorrow morning. You have to have a plan, but you have to be willing that the plan is going to constantly change. Chaos. I don't think we're going to run to schedule. It's not one of those places that schedules seem to be kept.
Back in Australia.
You should always have toys that go fast. It gets the adrenaline pumping.
Revhead trucker Paul Sludge Andrews is racing his toughest opponent. the weather.
This is our third week of trying to get in there. Could be for an interesting trip, this one.
Sludge has been running his fuel tanker, the Phantom, into the Western Australian outback for 20 years. Supplying vital fuel to the most isolated properties.
Remote stations out in the Murchison. Basically all their power is done by diesel generator or solar. Without diesel up there, everything stops.
But unseasonal rain has turned Sludge's tracks into sludge.
We started this job 3 weeks ago. Got the fuel loaded, the storms came in, we had a cyclone came in, and overnight dropped about 150 mils, 200 mils of rain, which basically flooded all the roads.
Cut off from his fuel deliveries, Sludge's customers are getting desperate.
We've had a few running out of fuel. They're running fuel in on the back of their four-wheel drives in drums. So I'm keen to get in there and get it all sorted.
After weeks of sitting around...
Check that out. Big boy's chair. Makes me look like a puppy.
Finally, there's a break in the weather. Time for Sludge to get serious. From Perth, he'll launch a 55,000-litre Mercy Dash, refuelling a Shire depot in Murchison, then a handful of stations before looping back home. 1,800 kilometres of hardcore trucking.
Yeah, good to finally be going up there and doing this with a bit of luck. Hopefully there won't be too much trouble. Failure's not an option, getting through is the option, not stuck up there in the mud.
But now, Sludge could be stuck much closer to home.
It's an interesting place to park.
Peak hour traffic.
Come on, you bastards.
Is no place for a road train.
I hate the city, I hate the car drivers, they piss me off.
...2,000 kilometres away in Adelaide.
How you going? Oh, you know, just loading trucks.
26-year-old trucker Josh Beattie is scrambling to load for a big contract. 2 trailers worth of gas drill casings.
They're hard to load because of the length of them and the centre of gravity. Just so slippery, you know. If they start tipping, they'll slide and you never know where they're going to end up.
The casings are urgently needed 900 kilometres away to line a gas well in Moomba in the Cooper Basin. 1,000 operational wells, feeding a network of pipelines over 5,000 kilometres long. This is Australia's biggest onshore oil and gas reserve.
They drill kilometres into the ground.
Delivering pipes out here is a hard way to make a living.
Whatever needs to be done, someone's got to do it.
From Adelaide, Josh will slog north into the harsh interior before taking on the notorious Strzelecki track to Moomba.
The road's the biggest enemy in what we're doing here. The road is famous for destroying trucks.
Slicing through the heart of the Strzelecki Desert, the Strzelecki track is 500 kilometres of scorching heat, jagged rocks and blinding dust.
Tyres, radiators, suspension, smash vehicles.
And exposing Josh to even more problems, he'll be carrying the maximum payload allowable on his rig. A 30-year-old truck he restored himself.
It's a passion, you know what I mean? Like, anyone can go and buy a new truck and run it up the road.
It's older than he is, but he's confident it's up to the task.
They're not the most comfortable thing, but they're reliable, and if you look after them, they'll look after you.
Not so reliable today is Josh's trailer.
No electrics on the dolly and back trailer, so Better get me tools out and pull the plug apart. Needs fixing. We've still got no luck. Have to ring electrician.
With no brake lights or indicators, Josh is stalled.
80 tonne of road chain stopped by a $7 trailer plug.
6 a.m. Weno, Micronesia.
Massive downpour.
Come rain or shine, Mark Cromwell and his team need to offload a ship carrying $8 million worth of fragile power station. This isn't the start they were looking for.
Just like we are trying to get in, trying to wake security up. Morning. The pilot boat has gone out to get the ship.
For 2 days, Mark hasn't heard from the ship. He hopes it's still on schedule.
8 o'clock. Is that what he said? 8 o'clock. Very good. Okay.
It's a 2-hour delay and a frustrating setback. To stay on track, Mark needs a full day of unloading. But by 8 a.m,
Island time.
the arrival time has slipped even further.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock here. Let's go.
At least it stopped raining.
Just waiting. This is what happened last time someone decided to try and dock here. It's a long half hour. The island clock goes very slow.
Then, at last,
Ship's here.
but Mark's positivity is short-lived.
This is going to be a circus.
The island has no dock workers qualified to crane off such a gigantic load. That responsibility will fall on Mark's team and the ship's crew.
This time we're doing the whole job. Like, there's no stevedores on the island. Gonna have to go inside the ship, hook everything up.
First,
Check, everything starts.
Mark wants to check his only truck has survived the 3-week, 7,000-kilometre sea voyage.
We've got one truck. Main concern is turning the key on that truck.
I thought it wasn't going to go then, but it was the steering lock was on. Hail.
It's all clear for the offload. Damage a single component, and there are no backups. First, the vital hydraulic trailer.
Whoa. Easy, slow.
It's taken a knock.
That's it.
But thankfully, no damage. Next, the all-important prime mover. After a painstaking 6 hours, Mark has unloaded just 2 items. Another 12 are still waiting in the ship.
How long before you think we get to the bottom?
Okay.
To the bottom freight? What time? Night time, you reckon?
Yeah, it will be night time.
Mark's hope of unloading everything today is looking impossible.
It will take a time.
Take time, yeah. No worries.
His only option, foot the bill for the ship to stay another day.
14,000 US per day. Truck drivers are the one getting slammed.
Righty-o, let's go.
Sludge has escaped the city and is heading into the wild, fully loaded with 55,000 litres of fuel.
On the dirt now, we got probably about 1,000 k's of dirt today.
5 cattle stations and a Shire depot desperately need his diesel.
Oh, it's a little bouncy.
Getting to them means driving through the aftermath of a cyclonic downpour.
I dare say as the day goes along, it'll turn to shit, the higher we get up into the flood country. Woohoo!
By mid-morning, Sludge has reached his first customer, Billabong Station.
They want 1,000 of petrol and 4,800 of diesel.
The recent rain has led to a mass hatching of flies.
But a fly killer. Sludge killer.
Much more welcome, Sludge and his precious payload.
We're getting pretty low, yeah. I'm getting topped up, so it's good. Just in time.
Good to see you, Paul. We're desperate to see the Phantom. I think we're 100 litres left.
That's one thing about this place, you get lots of hugs, don't you? We've got a few to go yet. Keep pedalling along.
5 tonnes lighter, Sludge is now pushing deep into the outback. With the roads already saturated, he's getting nervous there could be more rain ahead.
Yeah, I've got to meet the manager of the roadworks up at the Shire, and he's just going to fill me in.
At Murchison Shire, a vital fuel drop.
Because this community's all run by generator.
And some crucial information.
The trouble we've got here is this here is what we're going to run into that's north of us now.
A massive storm front, and it's rolling in fast.
We'll make a phone call and they'll make a decision whether we're allowed to go up there or not. They mightn't let us go, they might shut the roads.
In Micronesia,
This is going to be quite hard to get in the right position.
it's day 2 of Mark's massive power station offload. To avoid any damage, perfect communication with the ship's European crew is vital.
The trailer we can like lift and just touch if you want. The trailer can just touch.
Okay, it's better. More security is better.
Yeah.
But controlling a wind-prone load attached to a rocking ship is a tall order. For Mark and offsider Matt, it's a crash course in dock work. Hopefully without the crashes.
Yeah, good. Down, down. Very good.
One down. 2 giant loads to go.
Back you come. Go, steady. Stop, stop. That's good.
Good. Very good.
Now for the main event.
The big building dual crane lift. This is going to be very interesting.
The electrical switch room. So long it requires 2 cranes.
It's going to be the most interesting to try and land because now we've got 2 different crane operators.
It's a delicate operation. Over 18 metres in length and 4 metres high.
Quite hideous.
This is quite stressful.
It's a 57-tonne sail in a strong sea breeze.
Well, it's got the wind catching it, and you've got the $4 million yacht just poking there, waiting to get its bow smashed.
On a winner.
After sorting his trailer's electrics, Josh Beattie is heading towards the Outback's biggest gas fields. With 50 tonnes of vital steel pipe in tow. On this run, Josh can't afford any hold-ups. In 3 days' time, he's flying overseas on business.
Because I got to go over to the USA next week, and if I get up there and it starts raining or something, might not get back to be able to go overseas.
Next morning, Josh has reached the small outpost of Lyndhurst, gateway to the Strzelecki track. Time to head into the unknown.
It's always going to be a challenge, every trip, but yeah, it sort of adds to the excitement.
Bitumen gives way to savage stones and endless horizons.
To get to our destination, we've got roughly 400 k's of dirt. So yeah, all day to do what we need to do today.
It doesn't take long before Josh's first hazard appears. Superfine dust, known as bull dust.
There's no wind to blow the dust away, so it just hovers.
And now a car coming the other way. Visibility, 0. In Micronesia, Mark's team is struggling to bring a house-sized wrecking ball under control.
It's nearly at the size of the ship.
Yeah, she's swinging something fierce at the minute. Got a fair swing up there just before, got very close to the ship. That's why they told us to stop moving the truck so they can get control of it again.
With no expert dock workers to turn to, it's time for some trucking ingenuity.
When they get those straps on it, that shuts down the swing, you know, the forward and back.
Using trucking straps to rein in the 57 swinging tons could work, if the 2-ton rated straps don't snap.
With the ratchets, we should be able to get it pretty right. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go.
Are you happy, Chief?
Yes, I am. Very good.
It's a good feeling to see it sitting on the trailer and the weight off the ship's crane.
Best of all, it's the final piece of cargo.
We're looking good.
But a storm of stress looms on the horizon. Tomorrow, the much bigger task, moving this monster gear halfway across this developing island. $4 a.m.
Yeah, looking good, Mark.
They're out of the port gate. Next obstacle, making a tight corner onto the main road.
Yep, I've got to nail this, otherwise we'll be in stride. Steady, steady, Mark. You got wires there on your right.
Yeah, it's that spoon drain we can't touch, it'll crush it.
A storm drain, right where they need to back up. Break through the concrete, and it could break their only trailer.
Lower it, lock out the back axle, and we'll just walk it over.
The plan is to raise one of the trailer's axles and strengthen the drain with blocks of wood.
So you can sit timber in there just to help that ledge.
Just one problem.
Yeah. Where's that ute?
The wood has gone walkabout.
The bloke was coming back with the ute. They got all our timbers and everything. They went to drop blokes up at site and then we come straight back. Can we get someone to go up to site? Someone's getting them. Peanuts.
Without the wood, Mark's stuck, blocking the entire main road. In the muddy Murchison.
I don't think we've ever had this much rain.
Sludge has been drenched by a torrential summer storm.
Yep, I think we're about bucketed with the weather.
Flooding rain has closed the dirt road ahead, forcing him to make a detour.
Yeah, we'll take another route across the middle here.
It's a tough choice. Going this way means disappointing some of his customers.
We've got 2 stations up the top we're not going to get to today. I can't afford to be stuck up there for 2 weeks in the mud.
But even this alternative route is risky.
Told him that's where we're going. That storm is where we're coming down through this afternoon.
The further he drives,
Up, here we go.
the greater the threat of a 70-ton bogging.
You can see the marks. Some. Ooh, 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 wait. Yeah.
Slow down here and he'll sink.
It's just sliding on top. Look at the water here in front of us. It's just come down out of this shower.
Sludge must keep his speed up and try and rally drive his way through.
Because I don't think we're going to make this. Come on.
It's like driving in fog.
On the Strzelecki track, Josh has been blindsided by a dust cloud from a passing vehicle.
Best thing you can do is just wipe your speed off and slow right down until you got clear visibility.
Just months ago, a similar set of events led to a serious crash.
There was an accident caused by someone driving in the dust, and yeah, it wasn't a head-on, it was a rear end. But yeah, not good. Everyone survived luckily, but yeah, rode a truck off.
Josh is starting to feel the pressure of his deadline.
We got to get this product there sort of sooner rather than later, because it's got to go out to the rig to get drilled in the ground, and they're waiting for it. And but we can't rush either, because if we smash the truck or break down, we won't make it at all.
Right on cue, a section of road littered with potholes. Filled with bull dust, they're nearly impossible to see.
If you hit one, the worst thing that could happen, you could roll your truck over, because you don't know how deep they're going to be until you've actually committed and you're in it. So yeah, the road's deteriorated quite a bit since we dropped down into the basin here.
And now, soft sand.
When I hit the sandy patches or the softer bits, you can just feel that extra drag go on instantly. As soon as you drop into it, it feels like you've had another trailer hooked on the back here.
It's a fine line. Too fast and he could break something. Too slow and he could get bogged.
Hit the soft spots with enough speed to get to the other side, but then you don't want to hit it too fast and, yeah, damage your vehicle.
Up ahead, an especially bad section marked with hazard signs. Josh doesn't have the speed he needs.
Yeah, lost the momentum. I just slowed down too much.
Sludge is also spinning his wheels.
Come on.
It's sludge versus mud.
I don't mind playing in the mud, but I'm not into this.
He took this route to try and avoid a treacherous track.
This is the good road, yeah. It's looking really good.
Instead, he's driven straight into a quagmire.
Look at the water. It's not really the ideal situation.
Finally, his next fuel drop. And the mud isn't done with him yet.
This is what you call a pain in the arse. Now everything's covered in
One more delivery done, but Sludge is now running short on daylight.
And that's the hard bit of this job. Yep. Just got to keep pushing to get away, otherwise you end up stuck in places like this.
On remote Weno Island,
They got all our timbers and everything.
Mark's team has finally tracked down a car full of missing workers and some crucial blocks of wood.
They went to drop blokes off the site, and then when it comes straight back, that was like half an hour ago.
Supporting timbers in place, they can now carefully mount a fragile concrete drain.
Righto, Mark, nice and easy. We're going to get close here too.
With 57 tonnes of switch room.
It's going to roll up on one set of timbers now, mate. Yeah, going well. Keep coming at that. You're just about to come down off the timber. Come out of there, damage-free.
But they're not out of the woods yet.
You're about to go under the wire now, but...
The remaining kilometre to site is a tangle of low power lines.
Is that one going over the building?
For a dozen local power workers, it's a big job. Lifting hundreds of wires.
Yeah, they're very good, actually. They come pretty equipped. Very impressed.
It's amazing how many people have come out to help us and make this project happen.
After a week on the island, Mark's learning how to get the best out of the locals. Today, it's the promise of a free breakfast.
Most of these people are on probably about $2 an hour US, and breakfast costs probably about $10 to $12 US. So they happily come out and work overtime because they don't get overtime or penalty rates, but you have to buy them breakfast. So there's a lot of people here. It'll be a big breakfast.
Money well spent if it gets this $8 million power station safely to site.
You're right, keep rolling. We good? Righto. Just go steady, Mark, just in these branches here.
These full lock turning.
Ahead, Mark's biggest headache.
Fun's about to begin.
The last 50 metres to site. The killer combination of a sharp climb.
Yeah, it's very steep.
Followed by a tight turn.
This is the unknown bit that's always been unknown. Whether we've got the horsepower and the traction to be able to make this turn on that angle. The minute I turn, yeah, it's going to be extremely hard.
And to top it all off, recent rain has made it extremely slippery.
Here we are doing 20 kilometres per hour. Not even that.
Sludge is wrestling a demon dirt road.
It's all been washed out.
Storms have monstered this track. His next customers are the people sent to fix it. A road crew. Their diesel tanks are running low. Sludge's arrival is cause for great fanfare.
What are you doing, you silly old bastard? This is all their little camp, their setup. If they're out here, they'll stay 2 or 3 weeks, fill them up with diesel.
Sludge keeps pushing.
I'll just unload it.
With the ever-present risk of rain, he doesn't want to finish this job in the dark.
We've probably still got 300k, one more delivery down the road.
As night falls, nature threatens.
Some storms floating around up here. The sky is just mad lit up.
Time to wrap things up.
This is our last drop.
Sludge has overcome terrible conditions to make it here. And his customer has a token of his appreciation.
There's a bit of hot steak here with a bit of mustard on it. I'll put it under your seat.
Bloody beautiful. Thank you.
No worries.
Is that fresh tonight?
Oh, just a bit of salt and pepper.
Always pays to arrive at tea time, doesn't it? Thanks, mate. See ya. That's the difference between town people and bush people. Lovely. That's all done now, so, yeah, just head home.
For Sludge, this trip has been one for the books.
Absolutely brutal road.
Riding out a storm to bring power to some of the remotest outback.
We've pretty much got everyone topped up, but we didn't get the whole run done. But, you know, the way the weather is, who the hell knows when we're going to get back in here.
Nearly home, we're back on the bitumen. Thank Christ for that.
Time to celebrate with the fruits of his labour.
Nice home-cooked steak. Nothing wrong with that. Another day in the life of a truck driver.
In the Strzelecki Desert.
Started breaking traction there.
Josh is dragging 50 tonnes of steel through soft sand.
It's just like trying to pull a bloody plough through the dirt, you know.
Keeping a steady speed is crucial.
You stop moving, you get stuck.
Safely clear of one bad patch. But the atrocious conditions are eating into his schedule.
Now I've contacted the site where we're unloading. I've committed to get it off this afternoon.
Josh's load is also coming under fire. Pipes sliding backwards and forwards. Push too hard and he might lose more than just his deadline.
Yeah, we've got a vehicle approaching. I don't know if it's a car or a truck. It's extra dust.
Did you get a bit soft about 3K ahead of you there, mate?
No worries, thanks, I'll wait.
It's the last thing that Josh expected to hear in the desert. Mud ahead.
So we go from running through bull dust holes now to running through muddy holes. The terrain changes so quickly. Oh, always nervous, but yeah, you just get used to it. You just keep tackling what's ahead. It's gone downhill real quick, hasn't it? The roads get quite soft here. Yeah, it was fairly soft, but I just had to put the boot into it and get the bloody truck through it.
At last, a welcome sight. The Moomba processing plant.
Yeah, you think you're never going to get there, and then you come over the top of a sandhill and the Moomba just pops up in front of you. Sort of big relief when you see it. Just pull up and give everything a check over before we finish the journey off. Oh, looks good.
50 tonnes of crucial gas pipes, shaken but all intact.
Yeah, well, we've had a couple of pipes move, just the vibrations down the road, and this is why we run a solid headboard for when something like that happens.
Last step, offload at the plant and stack his trailers for the return journey.
Yeah, well, I better pack this show up pretty quick smart and start heading back for home because I'm heading overseas soon, and yeah, got to get back to bloody get on the plane and all good now. Yeah, we're finished, and all the problems we've had have been nothing catastrophic. Head off into the sunset again.
just metres from their final unload point. The Weno Switchroom team is stuck on a hill.
If it wasn't so wet...
If it wasn't wet, you'd probably do this.
We can't get any traction.
In just a couple of hours, this island will be buzzing with activity. The Switchroom is blocking a major intersection.
I just need the Franner to...
Give you a bit of pull.
To give me a pull while we're going slow.
Mark's plan is to use the small Franner crane to help the truck up the rise.
Steady as you go. Steady. And stop. That is hard work.
Like the impossible dream. Look at that, it's called black lines.
We're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Using his hydraulic trailer, Mark shifts the load forward. More weight up front should give him more grip.
No saying left or right because I might get flustered. You understand? No saying left or right, point, because it's going to be fast. I don't want to have to think, I just want to see a hand and go bang. So I'll roll back.
Righto, Squeak, load the crane up. Mark will hold you. Go. Go.
The front wheel's off the ground. I got no... Whoa! Stop.
You're just picking your steers up.
They're just doing a mono.
We're in a big world of trouble now.
We're never going to get round here.
Nah, because you just can't turn.
It's a problem Mark couldn't have imagined in his wildest nightmares. The weight and the steepness are tilting the prime mover skywards. With the steer tyres off the ground, he can't turn his truck.
If you don't have momentum, you won't get up.
Nah, you need to just do it at 40 k's an hour.
7,000 kilometres from help and from home. Mark and his team are in big trouble, with only themselves to turn to.
Bugger it. I've got a low water level light showing.
In Australia's top end, Steve Graham is in trouble.
It's serious, I don't know. I'll have to stop and find out.
Nearly 4,000 kilometres from home.
I need to pull up pretty quick and find out what's going on.
A few hundred from the nearest help.
I got a major hemorrhage under there. I don't know what's going on, but... It's not good, whatever it is. Bugger it.
Steve is midway through a marathon run. He set off from Alice Springs en route to Darwin and then picked up freight for Perth.
Yeah, she's a bit wet out there. The visibility is not too good.
Monsoon rains have cut all roads around him.
Well, there's the road near Broome, and they're pouring a big heap of dirt in that. They hope within 48 hours to get that open.
But right now, he's not going anywhere.
It's a buggered water pump. It's the first time I've had one go with no warning. Bugger it. You usually get a bit of leakage out of these water pumps before they actually let go. But this one's let go.
And a sick truck isn't all that's weighing on his mind. He wants to get back home to his faithful travelling companion, Bella, who's lucky to be alive after being run over.
She's minus a couple of ribs now and a few ends of rib bones.
Steve's had one piece of luck. He's broken down right next to a truck stop.
Can't believe that's a nice place to live while I get a water pump sent out to me. I'll pull my road train in there, get the sat phone out, and get a water pump on the road. The amenities in this little breakdown area just... I've got everything. I've got picnic tables, I've got rubbish bins, I've got toilets. problem, but all jokes aside, it's going to be an expensive repair.
Steve's staring at one lost day, possibly two, while he waits for a new water pump to be sent from Darwin, 400 kilometres away.
That's good, because my mate's going to pick it up, he's waiting for it, and he'll head on out.
It's a stoppage that could prove more expensive than just a truck repair bill.
He'll have it in Alice shortly. Not Alice, sorry, Catherine. Sorry, mate, I'm getting stressed.
He's heading west, where rain from a tropical cyclone has created an inland sea.
The customers who are involved with this all know that it's the wet season. They've all been given notice that I've got wet season problems.
The weather reports are predicting that conditions will get worse over the next few days.
No relief is expected from cyclonic rains that have cut highways in the state's northwest.
It's no time to be stranded.
Can't believe it.
Ladies, gentlemen, let's move. Come on.
In the Northern Territory, trainee trucker Danielle Haig is on a tour to the top end.
I'm a woman I can multitask, even if I'm driving a road train.
Taking on the tough roads.
She's gonna make it.
Learning the hard lessons with husband Anthony.
A bit of pace up, you should be right.
I conquered another one he didn't think I was going to conquer.
As her family brings life-saving water to a parched country.
He doesn't stop. He's a good man.
The Morangi water drillers travel Australia's northern cattle country 9 months of the year, sinking deep bores on remote stations that are dry, pumping underground water to the surface.
Good sign.
For livestock to drink.
2 trucks, very heavy trailer loads behind us.
They travel in a huge convoy. 2 trucks, 7 trailers, 200 tonnes of heavy drilling equipment, and Danielle's home away from home, a fitted-out shipping container.
Pretty handy built.
It's also home to their 3-year-old son, Heath.
He loves being away, and
Are you ready to go?
I think he's going to be like his dad.
Come on then.
This is my second home, my home on wheels.
Our bed, Heath's bed, laundry, bathroom, pantry.
At their permanent home, a farm in Warwick, Queensland, the Haigs are gearing up for another long stretch, living and working in the desolate outback.
Yeah, I'm going to get you heaps.
For Danielle, leaving home is always bittersweet.
It's a big sacrifice, working in the middle of nowhere, no TV, no internet, no socialising, no nothing.
Right, down the next one.
On the road, Danielle will be roughing it, but not without her jewellery.
Doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, you can still look nice. I am a city girl. I like to go shopping. I like to go for lunches and dinners and movies, but then also family time. Family's the most important thing to us.
This is Beryl. Come and get your shoes.
This season brings new responsibilities.
A bit bumpy is an understatement. Makes me want to pee.
Danielle's put her hand up for driving duties.
Yeah, Danielle driving, she's
Gun it through.
if you don't know what you're doing, well, you could end up in the pretty quick.
When I first started driving, I thought all these corrugated bits were from like the grader or a dozer or something. That's how they made it. And I was like, why would you make the road like this?
She's got to start somewhere, eh?
From home, their convoy will trek 2,400 kilometres northwest to the remote cattle station of Lake Nash. For the people there, the drillers can't arrive soon enough.
They haven't had much of a wet season at all. They've got a couple of collapsed bores, so hopefully we don't have any delays getting up there and get the job done for them. So.
But while some stations have missed the wet season rains, parts of Queensland have been inundated, and that could be a problem.
Like it could be raining here and 5 k's down there would be nothing, you know. I suppose it's life. At the end of the day, it's how it goes, eh?
Coming on this trip, new offsider, also named Anthony, but better known as Hazy.
I just drive the other truck, 3 trailers, and I think Anthony's towing 4.
All right, mate, bring him round here and we'll put him up, eh?
With the team ready to go, it's a final supply check.
5 minutes to go.
Hug for Grandad, and it's time to hit the road.
On the way, yeah. We'll get down the road here and we'll probably remember how many things we forgot. 2,500 k's, I suppose, rough figures.
The weather up ahead is weighing on Anthony's mind.
A couple of storms, little showers heading about in the territory at the moment.
Too much rain could close the roads leading north.
Southern end, they only had 20 mil, and then we're going a bit further south than there, so we should be pretty right as long as we can get through.
And heading into the next town, a worrying sign.
Yeah, the roads between Longreach and Cloncurry's been closed just with all the rain they've had up there, but the sign there just saying just caution in between that area.
Caution mean open, or does it mean maybe not?
Caution means proceed with caution.
Today has not been a good one, outback trucking.
In northern Australia, Steve Graham is stuck in a truck stop with a broken water pump. Finally, after a long wait, a welcome sight.
It's the outback, really. It's a north attitude or something. The way people just come out and help you when you're in the bush is just amazing. How are you, Dane? Good to see you, Cobber. Good to see you. You're broken down, you're on the side of the road, you're 100 kilometres out, and an hour after that red light coming on my dashboard, my gear's on the way.
Steve's still confident the mechanic can have this fixed quickly.
Yep, there she goes, straight out the bottom.
Running out?
Yep.
But the mechanic's not so sure.
It's coming out of the telltale. You put your hand on there, you'll feel.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's unreal, isn't it? You're like...
Never seen it.
Never, nor have I. That's what I said, you know. I started having second thoughts, did I misdiagnose?
The only thing they're sure of is that this isn't going to be a quick fix.
He's got a slight hiccup now. He's got to pull the whole assembly out. Filter housing won't separate from the water pump, so the whole lot's going to come out, which might need me helping him, and that's scraping the bottom of the barrel a bit. I've got faith in him.
There we go.
You've done well, mate. You've done fucking well.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Next problem is detaching the water pump from its housing.
Just get that housing off.
Water pumps are an on-the-shelf part, but this housing behind it, the water pump bolts to, would be, you know, I don't even want to think about it. Might be Ring America.
He's not budging.
So we can't afford to do any damage to that whatsoever.
And pop back in.
It's rubber. Whatever it is, it's rubber. It's gasket cement or something. It's rolled over the edge, mate. That water pump should just pull off the housing, but it just hasn't. There's a bit of rubber, a bit of gasket cement or something in there. It's gone over the edge of the sleeve and is hanging onto it.
Probably didn't have much chance of getting it off on me.
No.
When gentle force doesn't work, Steve has the idea of using straps to pull at both ends.
Let's see if we can get the thing to come apart.
But it's not budging.
Same as he's always been. No more. The only way to get it out is melt it out. So the jobs grow, and all these jobs grow. you can do without this. The costs that are involved in all of this really chew into, you know, what would have been a nice run home. We got a big problem pulling this apart. Damien's going to have to take it back to town where he's got Oxy, and that hurts me, might hurt him too. He's probably got a lot of other jobs to get to, but I'll sit here with the gear tonight and hopefully he turns up in the morning. He can't leave me on the side of the road to die, so he is going to come back. I probably would have enjoyed a nice cold beer tonight, but my fridge has been off while we've had the alternator off, so that's probably gone by the wayside too. Today has not been a good one.
We'll head out to Roma now, change a few more trailers around and hook another 2 on.
In Queensland, the water drillers are about to add the final pieces to their massive twin road trains.
We're going to hook everything up so we're 4 trailers on one and 3 on the other, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Danielle's watched this difficult manoeuvre before, and she's not holding her hand up for a lesson today.
No way. I can reverse one trailer. I can barely reverse a ute. What am I talking about?
Backing up with 1 trailer is hard enough. Reversing 2 to hook up with a 3rd. That's a whole new level of skill. But at least Hazy will have help.
I think there might be a little 2-way in there, and Danielle will talk to you.
Danielle guiding him on the 2-way radio.
If I was doing it, I would give it maybe 10 attempts and then I'd be done. He's under pressure.
Not making the job easier, a patch of cut-up, boggy dirt.
I'm just going to sit here because it's probably going to take like an hour to do.
Hazy's getting a sinking feeling.
I think he's stuck.
But with no help on offer, his only option is to keep trying.
He kept getting stuck in that bog hole, so he's going around. Anthony's got this thing that he does with all the guys that work for us. He makes them keep going until they get it. This would frustrate the out of me.
Danielle's seen this operation go wrong before.
I don't think he's going to make it here either.
With costly results.
Before, when we jackknifed, we smashed the aircon off the other side of that camp. Anthony wasn't very happy after that one.
It's jackknifed again.
2 different turntables turning. Once they go too far, you bug it, you've got to start again.
Anthony's seen enough. Time for the expert to step in and take over.
I bet you the smart ass gets it straight away.
And the trailers are pushed into place. With Danielle's help.
Oh, it's good to have someone there with a little handheld 2-way, you know, because you can't see what's happening back down there.
Right. Lou, you're going to have to go back. Stop. Stop! Jesus Christ. No wonder he's not hearing me. It's turned off!
Finally, the monster rigs are complete. At 50+ metres each, they don't come much longer. With people up north counting on them, it's time to put in some serious hours and make some headway.
This is going to be fun. We haven't had a family trip with Dad for a while, have we?
The family road trip begins.
Are we there yet?
About another 40 k's.
Oh, really?
After a frustrating day and night at a standstill, Steve Graham is crossing his fingers his mechanic has fixed his water pump problem.
He got the other bit apart last night with heat, so I'm confident today's going to be a better day. I was sitting out here last night thinking about it. You can do without this, but it'll go in the maintenance log and the truck will keep working another 500,000 k's with this water pump, touch wood. So, here we go. Damien's just got here. It was spooking me a bit yesterday when he was encountering the problems pulling it apart. You know, he hadn't struck that before with one of those pumps, and nor I hadn't seen it, so yeah, that worries you a bit. But looking at what he's brought out this morning and putting together, it all looks good now.
Have you ever played that game Tetris? This is about what I'm trying to get here.
It's always a bastard of a thing to get in there. It's always a bit scary when you're doing them at the roadside. You just can't turn around and grab consumables off the shelf. We're -1 gasket here. I'll just find the old breakfast cereal box, I think, make a gasket out of it. Nutrigrain. Well, there you go. That's it's a breakfast cereal packet gasket, that. How's that, Chief?
Perfect.
Has it got plenty of vitamins in it? Yeah, that's a good one. It's got love.
Well, that'll go forever.
Should be a good one. It's a Champion's breakfast tucker.
The cereal box gasket fits, but will it work?
Damien's just having his last final look. I'll give her a start. We'll try and bring her up to operating temperature and the thermostat's open. Hopefully there'll be no leaks.
This breakdown has robbed Steve of nearly 2 full driving days. He can't afford any more.
Fingers crossed, Outback Trucking. You good? I'll take her up to 1500. I believe the thermostat's open. It's come up to 70 degrees. Sitting in here, it appears to have gone to plan. I'll go outside and have a look, see if anything's coming out the bottom. Hopefully it's good.
All dry and running like a dream.
Much appreciated, mate. We'll do that.
Not a problem, anytime.
Thanks, Damo.
2 solitary days broken down by the roadside remind Steve of his dog and faithful travelling mate, Bella, lying injured back in Perth.
The dog would have enjoyed this little bit of a stop here. Bella would have had a lot of fun here. Park, things to play with. She would have enjoyed this bit of a breakdown. She'll be happy to see me get home, I'm quite sure. I've got to get on with my business of trucking now. I've got people looking for their freight, and of course the weather's still building. The weather hasn't gone away.
Still a day's drive from the coastal community of Broome, Steve has no idea just how bad the trouble is.
I've been out of touch for a day, sitting broken down back there. It'll be interesting to see what the water situation's like further down towards Broome, where the trouble's supposed to be.
The deluge from a tropical cyclone has caused havoc. This isn't the sea. It's a highway. And Steve's heading straight for it. After 3 full days on the road...
Well, she just like fully jumped out of gear.
Danielle's in the hot seat, taking her first turn at the wheel.
Really nervous.
The water drilling team are in the Northern Territory.
This is a new beast. I like driving her.
About to say goodbye to the highway and hit the dirt.
We're going to get bogged. It'll happen when I'm driving.
After a long drought, there's been recent rain.
Up there's where we're turning off, just around the bend up there.
And there are some seriously muddy patches along the back roads.
There's a few crossings got a bit of water and that over it, but we'll just approach it all with a bit of caution.
From here, it's a 150-kilometre dirt run to their first job, a cattle station with a broken water bore.
Too muddy.
The road's worse than they expected, and up ahead, a car that's come to meet them, stuck.
It's not a good start for the 148 Ks.
The station manager is Bob, just up ahead. He was going to check out the road for us. Anthony's going to get the ute off, go and pull him out, and then go and have a look.
Heath reckons he's going to pull him out with his little buggy here. So we'll see how we go.
This is delaying us, like we'd be halfway there by now, but it's just the things you got to do when you're in the country.
On the rescue mission, they get their first taste of what they're up against.
Yeah, it feels a little bit spongy there. You can feel the vehicle just pulling us into the ruts and that there.
He's got gumboots.
An easy rescue, but a bogged ute is a bad omen.
He can't get through. How are we going to get through?
If worst comes to worst and I get too scared, I will just camp on the road here. Because I can't back it. No, not real good at backing. Well, we sort of can't back up or anything where we are, so we're sort of stuck there. The only way out is this way.
They can wait for the water to dry up or take the road on and risk getting stuck fast.
If we get stuck, we're stuck here, or we sit up there and wait, so two options really.
Either way, the station's not getting their bore fixed anytime soon.
I reckon I'd get through it better than you. Just gun it.
Oh yeah, smash it, trash it.
No, I won't.
The only real choice is to go.
I'll drive this truck through so we can see how we go. Once we get through, I'll call Anthony Hayes up and just give him the go-ahead whether it's right to come through or not. Hopefully I don't get bogged.
Well, there's the river down there on my right again. I can't see any crocs there today.
Steve Graham's rolling again after a breakdown that cost him 2 travelling days.
The water's fairly flowing through here. It's pouring through.
Steve has flooded roads up ahead and customers waiting for freight that's already delayed.
Coming up to the West Australian border, which is good. It means I've only got just a bit over 3,000 kilometres to get home. The downside is dealing with home state bureaucracy.
A brush with authorities is the last thing he needs.
There's aspects of it they may not like. There's some road dirt on one of the vehicles, and that second-hand pipe on the back trailer might raise some eyebrows, but I'll find out when I get down here. I'm just coming up to it now. It was a stress yawn.
These are necessary stops, but always nervous ones for truckers.
How are you? If I haven't got any done, I'll have to do it.
The inspection is taking longer than Steve hoped, which could be a bad sign. In the office, more questions.
Is that oil site stuff getting down to Perth or...?
Yep, all going to Perth, mate.
Yeah, just right down to Perth is the location. Is it just the car, the truck, some construction steel or something?
That's it, mate.
All good. Have a good day.
Thanks, Copper. It's a pleasure to do business with people like that. And here we are in the home state. It's like coming home. It's always good to be here. It's a relief to get out of the desert country and look at some vista, some scenery. It's a pleasure. So it's good to be home, but the downside is apparently this is where all the water is. There's a bit of mist off the river. They're blowing a bit of water out.
Steve knows this road well, and he's seeing signs of trouble up ahead.
Oh, the river's pretty swollen down here. There's a lot of water in it down here. getting king tide. It's not far down there to the ocean. It blocks all that water and it runs back, and all this country here, out here, goes underwater.
Water on the roadside. Water in the sky.
It's also looking ominous down here to the west. My old leg's been giving me a bit of curry. That's where the damage is to the road, is down there to the west. And I don't know how much rain it would take to wash this out again, but the country's all wet. It's all very soft out there. You wouldn't want to be out there.
The big wet has washed away whole sections of the highway.
This is where that road was washed out. The boys have got right into it. You can see where it's completely washed away here. That water must have been roaring through here to rip all this out. It must have been a hell of a flow. And as you can see, it ripped it out for a fair way. You can see what's left of the water out there, and you can see where it roared across there. You wouldn't have wanted to be here on the road when it came through. That's that little obstacle out of the way.
Steve's been warned it'll be a different story as he approaches the coast.
My old knee's telling me I'm going to hit some rain really, really soon. This is starting to look pretty nasty, this thing up in front. This could be swirling its way up into being one of those big supercells. A lot of energy in there, a lot of horsepower. It's scary to say the least, looking at that stuff off the edge of it. I've seen these things out Millenjetty Way and that, and just blew a little place to pieces where we were once. It's like driving up to a wall. I just hope it's not an absolute wall of water that I can't see through.
I can feel it as soon as we pulled on the road.
The water drillers are about to hit mud, but not the kind they've been hired to find.
Oh, mate, if we get bogged here, we could be here for a few days.
It's a risk Anthony has to take for his customer.
You wouldn't think the amount of water around needs water, but you still need water in your yards for your stockade.
And his family.
If that rig's not working, we're not making money, so...
Anthony approaches the bog that claimed the station manager's ute.
Bit of a high spot just up here, so we'll see how we go here. See how we go. You don't have to hit it too hard here, otherwise we'll do a bit of damage. Same time, keep a bit of station speed up, look through. Just got one more bit up here. Yeah, right, Hazy, just poke it through. Yeah, so he's got through all right. Yeah, just coming back on the road there now, so we'll poke on a bit further and see how much further we can get.
This road is more than 150 kilometres. They're not out of trouble yet.
And we've probably only gone only 8 k's, I suppose. So, yeah, I'd say it should be a long day.
On cue, another mud trap, right in the middle of the road.
A wet spot here, mate. I'm just going to go up the right, up the side here.
This one's longer.
Up here, it's the one that'll test us out.
And deeper. The truck's through. But the 4 trailers are like a 100-ton anchor.
Yeah, you can hear it starting to bog down a bit.
Ramping up the drag, cutting the speed.
Hope we can get through.
He mustn't stop.
Each time I hit these doughy spots, my arse cheeks squeeze together. We just got through that one. She's pretty heavy going.
Now it's Hazy's turn.
Yeah, Hazy, you're going to have to pick left or right there, mate. Danielle, we think it's a better option. We're going to go shoot it up a bit.
Definitely to the left.
Last minute split decision when you come to these puddles which way you want to go. You don't want to slow down, otherwise you'll lose your momentum, you know. Would be real fun shoveling it out, I don't think.
Through, but there's a bigger test ahead.
Yeah, just up around here, we've got a couple of creek crossings.
After the rain, they're running fast.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a flow up.
The muddy current makes it hard to know the depth.
Just poke through nice and steady.
The road surface is concrete and gets slippery.
We had a bit of wheel spin there. We just sort of creep through it. Last trailer's just coming out there now. Yeah, we'll just see how Anthony goes. Danielle's coming through there now in the ute.
Once again, it's all eyes on Hazy in the second truck. It's been a heart-pounding run.
Anthony, do you want me to come in now and show you how to drive it?
And Danielle's wanting to be in on the action.
Yeah, Danielle, you can come up ahead.
The rookie trucker finally gets some time behind the wheel.
Heading to Lake Nash. I think I like it because it gives me like an adrenaline rush. I've got like 4 trailers and $1 million worth of stuff on the back of me. Everybody who knows that I drive a truck now cannot believe it. Totally not something I'd ever see myself doing in the past.
Right now, she has to face the last 10 kilometres to the station.
You don't really know what to expect. And the station people haven't been out here yet to even inspect their roads.
On a rough track.
I'll slow down to about 30 when you come through, it's a bit rough.
It's a bit rough. Righto, boss.
Getting rougher.
It's a bit interesting. Feels like the truck's gonna fall to pieces. I don't have the right bra on for this today. Oh, Jesus. You need a double sports bra when you do these ones.
Danielle hits the cattle grid at the entrance to the station.
Finally arriving at Lake Nash. Yay. Oh, dear God. Those things are disgusting.
The water drillers have arrived.
I was letting the goanna cross.
But there's a way to go yet. The real work hasn't even started.
My knee, it's saying rain, 2 kilometres.
Steve Graham is heading into the remnants of a tropical cyclone.
It's like diving into the aquarium, really, isn't it?
There are storms up ahead. And this. Long sections of highway submerged underwater. Stretching to the horizon. The signs are already ominous.
I'll be jumping puddles all the way into Broome now. It's just come out of this downpour. It's dumping on top of us. How are you, mate? Yeah, not bad. Where's all this water come from? This shower this afternoon? Unreal, eh?
Water on the road is one thing. Washouts, where the current has hollowed out under the road surface, are more worrying.
See, there's bits broken away there. That's why I'm just going steady. I'm in it. This is a slightly deeper hole. Just line up the middle of the road and idle through these ones. This is a bit deeper, definitely. And see, a bit just broke away underneath me there. The road's cracked away there. She's gone. The road base is soft. The road base is rotten underneath this road. course, as the flows get deeper, they get faster, and then you've got the old flotation problem. See, this one's a bit deep. You've got a big heap of tyres on your trailers, spares in the rack. Your toolboxes are like little boats. If you're empty on fuel, you've got huge flotation with fuel tanks and air tanks, and they'll just lift everything up, get your traction off the road, and if you've got a current running, you're gone. That was deep enough to float a car, that one.
After being on the road for more than a month, Steve's only a couple of days from home.
There's plenty of water out here. This sort of water I don't rush through.
If he can get through.
There's a lot of it. They closed the road, I've got no choice to wait, because my only other option would be to go 2,000 kilometres back to the Stuart Highway, 3,000 kilometres down to Port Augusta, and then 3,000 k's home. It would be an 8,000 kilometre detour.
And it's getting worse.
Looks a bit deeper than what I thought too, looking at that car. Just try and pick up that white line. I don't like getting too close to the edge. There's a fair bit of broken pavement down there. If there's holes been developed and chewed up into that road and it's just marsh underneath, well, you'll sink her. Sorry, mate, sorry. The road surface is gone on the right-hand side. And this bloke coming towards me is going to want his half of the road, but I want my half of the road.
It's no place for a game of chicken.
You got a copy in that northbound truck coming towards the road train?
But there's no radio contact.
I was trying to tell him to wait back there. You can see where the water's broken here, the pavement's gone. I've got past where the pavement's broken, so he's basically on his own. And see, he's going a bit far to the left, he's going a bit far to the left. Oh, he's going way too far to the left. He needs to stop. And he just realised he's just stopped. As far as you can see, it's just water. Miles and miles of it. It's really humorous, really. I used to be a steering wheel attendant. Now I feel like I'm a sea captain. Of course, when it's like this, the crocs all move around. They travel around with the water, so you want to make sure you've got an eye open if you want to get out in there and check your wheel nuts or something.
Floods, crocs, broken water pumps.
You can't rush it, you just got to take your time.
6,000 kilometres behind the wheel, and Steve is finally through the worst.
Well, I reckon that's it. I reckon that's the job done. I'm on the home run.
Homeward bound to reunite with his faithful hound.
It's been interesting travelling out without my little four-legged mate, and I think she'll be pretty happy to hear that this truck's rolling down the hill. I'm just nearly home now. It'll be interesting to see. Kathy's got the dog in the ute, so she can't hear the truck coming and do something silly. The truck will be more than happy to see the shed, and I'll be more than happy to have a shower and see my own bed for a change. There's a ute there, and there might be a little doggy sitting in it. Let her out, Kat. Hello, doggy. Hey? Hey, what are you up to, little mutt? Hey? Hello, doggy. Oh, well. Well, give us a look at you. A lot better, aren't you? Hey, Kathy's looked after you, hasn't she? Hey? Looks like she wants to go trucking.
It's high tide at a makeshift dock on the tip of one of Australia's great wild frontiers. If Steve Graham can't load his truck onto a barge in the next few minutes, one of his greatest journeys will go no further.
Well, the barge hit the deck about 3 metres short, so what they're going to do is they're going to go out, they're going to pump more ballast out of the front so that they can make a bridge and I can get on the thing.
The legendary Outback trucker is midway through an epic run, delivering a life-changing load to 2 of the most isolated communities in Australia. But faced with shallow waters, the barge skipper is struggling to make land.
And we've only got about half an hour before our absolute high tide.
If he can't reach Steve now, he'll have to leave him high and dry.
Honestly, people are grinding teeth.
Steve's journey began 7 days ago in Perth, Western Australia. His destination? The remote Indigenous communities of Elcho Island and Ninikay, located in the outback wilderness of Arnhem Land. This vast expanse is 5 times the size of Israel and home to some of the country's toughest terrain. So far on this run, Steve's battled his way through near 5,000 kilometres worth of dirt, damage and dramas.
Absolutely worst nightmare that could ever happen.
On board his truck, 30 tonnes of fragile solar power equipment. It's worth $350,000, but to its new owners, it's priceless. Steve's freight will bring electricity 24/7 for the first time in their history. The first community is 130 kilometres offshore, on the remote tropical wilderness of Elcho Island.
Here he comes, he's going to punch her in now again.
The barge is Steve's only way to reach it. If he can't load up now, he'll have to wait days for the next tide, costing him thousands of dollars in delays.
And she does look a lot lighter on the front, by gee. They've pumped out a fair bit of water.
There's time for one last all-or-nothing charge.
And she's coming in quick, by gee. She's going in good. We're going to get her, I think. Amazing. Right, I've got to start thinking about getting serious about my job.
While the barge has made land, now the tide's turning. It must leave quickly or run aground. Steve will only get one shot at driving on board. To hold the barge in place, the skipper pushes his engines to full power. The smallest error from him or Steve could land his truck in deep water.
We just got on just in time to catch this tide. ETA Elcho Island sometime tonight, 9 or 10 o'clock.
By nightfall, Steve's close. As skipper Adam knows, the next hazard will be unloading the huge truck onto an isolated strip of beach in the pitch black.
4.4 metres, the actual ramp goes underwater and you can be swept off the ramp there as well. I haven't done a truck this size here before. If we don't have a good angle on it, we're going to have a hard time getting this truck off.
The next high tide isn't for days. If Steve's to make it off the barge, it must be tonight.
It's 40 minutes to the barge landing. Now I start to get nervous. The skipper did come down earlier and say he couldn't get a wink of sleep because he was worried about this landing, and that put me off tee.
One slip and he could bog or damage the truck. Worse still, it could tip into the sea. Then, in the distance, there's a sign of life.
That fire on the beach is them waiting for the barge to come in. They're hoping we can get all this stuff off tonight. So am I.
He's come nearly 5,000 kilometres to get here. Now, the fate of Steve's journey lies behind the barge's ramp.
Ah, too much angle. Fuck it.
In Katanning, Western Australia, oversize expert Yogi is gearing up for another heavyweight challenge.
These are big and they're ugly and they look different and that, but I'm set up to cart them.
He's been hired to deliver a 20-ton harvester, or header, worth $500,000. It's big, brand new, and must be delivered without a scratch. It's a huge headache for Yogi and his wife and pilot, Amanda. But first, she's got another critical delivery to make.
Look left, right, good girl.
Amanda also drives the local school bus. Today's first pickup, their kids, Jack and Lucy.
See ya.
Balancing two demanding loads is never easy.
I either have Glenn waiting for me for the pilot job, or otherwise I've got the kids waiting for me.
On this run, old mate Rob Poet will be hauling a second harvester in another truck. Looking after two trucks means more pressure on Amanda, but more precious dollars for the family business.
It's all about the bottom line. Any small business is about the bottom line.
From Katanning, Yogi, Rob and Amanda are heading to the coastal town of Esperance, over 450 kilometres away. That's like hauling 8 elephants from Amsterdam to Frankfurt.
What are we loading that one? I think so, I'll just find out. I'll set it up 3.7. He's about where we need to be.
Yogi's first task is getting the massive 5.2 metre wide load onto his trailer. One tiny mistake could seriously damage Yogi's freight and his reputation. But something's wrong.
It's a lot wider than what we thought, eh? But have a look where that wheel is over there. Like, yeah. That wheel's nearly off.
The whole job's suddenly in the balance.
I don't reckon I'm cart it. Gee.
How wide's your deck?
We go at 3.8.
Yogi's only hope is to widen his hydraulic trailer as far as it will go. It's going to be close. But if he can't load up, Yogi faces an empty truck and an empty wallet.
I can't give this load away today because then I won't work today, you know, so.
The trailer's at maximum width. Now Yogi and Rob must be millimetre perfect.
Slow, steady.
One slip and they'll be picking up the pieces before this job's even begun. In the town of Katherine in the Northern Territory, trucking mates Jared Baldwin and Johnny Rayner are getting set for the toughest job of their careers.
Oh, right on my bruise.
The pair met when Johnny rescued Jared from a breakdown on a lonely stretch of dirt highway.
This is where we met, mate.
I think then you were broken down here as well?
Yeah.
1 year on, they've been working together ever since.
Do you want me to take my shirt off, Johnny, so you can watch me pump iron? He was keen to come give us a hand for a couple of weeks and he's still with me, so I guess he must enjoy it a little bit.
Liked the place and jacked up with his sister, so he gets like a day around there.
At 27, the boys are a new generation of outback truckers. Life out here can be hard.
Just bruised, tired and all trucked out, I think.
But these truckers like to play rough.
I dabble in the rodeo side of things a little bit, do some clowning.
Mr. Jared Baldwin laying his life on the line. Put your hands together right now for him.
From Katherine, the boys are heading deep into Arnhem Land, to the tiny community of Maparu, one of the most remote Indigenous settlements in Australia. To reach it, they face 700 kilometres of bone-rattling back roads, deep river crossings and treacherous dirt. And if the road doesn't get you, the locals just might.
The last 60 k's is probably going to be the biggest challenge. You don't want to sink down into the road. Try not to get stuck in any of the creek crossings.
Making things even tougher, is the boys' freight.
Got a basketball court to build up at a community called Maparu. It's quite an isolated area. On that truck there, we've got 70 tonne of cement, and we've just got the backhoe there, which will be doing all the pad and the excavations.
The 7-day mission is a massive challenge. The biggest Jared and Johnny have ever taken on.
Try not to lose our wing mirrors and trailers and toolboxes and stuff. And if we get stuck, we'll bloody try our best to get out of it, I guess.
If they fail, it could take years to rebuild their reputations. It's a 4 a.m. start to a bruising mission, but Jared's already taken damage.
A bit stiff and bruised this morning. One of the last bulls out last night gave me a little bit of a tickle up on my old arse cheek, so it's a bit tender today. So the corrugations will get pretty rough, so we'll see how the rear end holds up.
With the start of the dirt road comes days of punishing corrugations. It's torture for the trucks and truckers.
It's a bit rough. Having a bruised rear end's not helping. The very dark black bruise, Johnny said when he checked it for me. The bruise is swelling up. Nice and tender.
Ahead lies Jared and Johnny's first serious test. 2 river crossings.
So we're about 5k from the Goyder River. We're going to give it a crack going through the first little offshoot.
Both crossings are deep, with steep, slippery banks on either side. Get stuck here and help is hundreds of kilometres away. Jared wants to be sure the trucks are ready.
So we're just going to top up the tanks. The little bit of fuel that's left in the tanks, if we don't top them up, we'll run to the back. And the last thing we want to do is stall up the side of the river. It's not a good spot to be in.
With the fuel topped up, Jared's first to cross.
On our way, mate.
Hauling 70 tonnes of freight, he'll have to bury the gas pedal to make it up the steep riverbank. It's exactly what Jared didn't want to happen. He's marooned at the first major obstacle in his path.
Nah, too much angle. Bugger it.
Steve Graham's first sight of Elcho Island is a shocker. He needs to unload his truck onto a remote beach in the pitch black. It's vital the barge's ramp isn't lying at too steep an angle. Slowly, the ramp lowers.
Oh, not bad, not bad. Not bad. I think we'll get her there, mate.
Yeah, it's good, eh? It's really
Yep.
good.
We got luck here, I think, Jimmy.
The angle may be good, but now Steve will have to reverse his 20-metre-long truck off the narrow barge. Blind. If he clips the ramp, he could damage a $100,000 crane trailer he's hired just for this job. Every inch could bring disaster.
How am I looking on that engine, mate?
Until
Righto, this truck's off the barge. I've got a huge sense of relief. Tomorrow morning I'll unload this, and tomorrow's another day, so we'll sort it out then.
At dawn, Steve's still worried about the fragile crane trailer. Just 2 days ago, the engine that powers it took heavy damage on a brutal stretch of dirt highway. If it won't fire up at the end of his journey, Steve will have no way of unloading his vital freight.
I've got about 60 kilometres to go to delivery, and they tell me it's a really badly corrugated road. I cannot relax till I get in there and have that thing in one piece to lift this off. I just cannot relax. It's as simple as that.
All Steve can do is push on. down the only main road on the island. And by the roadside, there's grim warnings. This tiny jungle track is a truck killer.
I'm going to drive very, very slowly if it takes me all day to deliver my freight. And this is how the day will go. I will just idle along. At least the scenery's pretty.
Faced with deep corrugations, Steve's reduced to a crawl to protect his rig.
I've only come 12.5 kilometres. It could be anything to deal with yet. The next 40k. My mind's constantly worried about that bloody engine hanging under that trailer. That's what I'm thinking about.
It's painfully slow going, but there's worse to come.
This is soft, gutless sand through here. A little bit scary, this stuff.
If Steve loses traction now, his truck will sink in deep, while the struggle could rip the guts out of his fragile crane trailer.
That's what will break this thing in half.
Steve's worst fears are confirmed. An ocean away from help, he's stuck fast.
This is one of the closest ones I've ever put on. There's like millimetres in this.
In Katanning, Yogi's struggling to squeeze $500,000 worth of harvester onto his truck. One lapse in concentration from Yogi or Rob, and the delicate operation could end in disaster. And with just millimetres to spare.
Ooh, that was waking you up early in the morning, wasn't it? Man, they're getting bigger though. That's the biggest I've seen.
At last, Yogi's convoy can roll out.
Righty-ho, let's get into it.
On the 450-kilometre run to Esperance. In all, they're hauling $1 million worth of brand new paintwork, shiny glass and fragile machinery. Damage them, and Yogi's hard-earned reputation could be a write-off.
I'm watching this load like a hawk because that's probably the widest header tyres I've seen, you know, in the 7 years I've been carting headers. I'm basically sitting in the middle of the road here. So Amanda's job today is quite full on.
On narrow country roads, Amanda's biggest concern is oncoming traffic.
If you pass that little one, yes, all good.
Thank you. To give as much warning as possible, she needs to sit well in front of the trucks.
Might just push you out just a little bit more, eh? Thank you.
And to make things tougher, today there's no shortage of company.
It's quite hectic and quite a little bit scary in some respects, you know. You got a heap of wide stuff coming towards you and a heap of not wide stuff, and the worst possible result happened.
But in farming country, there's one hazard that poses the biggest threat of all.
A lot of loaded road trains full of stock, so you got to give them right away.
Livestock trucks carry one of the most volatile, time-critical loads there is. Ahead, Amanda's spotted a giant. It's heading Yogi's way. He needs to pull over and make way for the bigger rig. But on the narrow track...
I'll get off here as much as I can, but...
He's just metres from trouble. If Yogi can't get over far enough, the passing road train could shower his precious load with rocks.
But we're right over that edge there.
But if he puts a wheel in the wrong place now, he risks losing his freight and his truck. Jared Baldwin is bogged in Arnhem Land on the first day of a massive construction run.
Johnny, we're going to have to stiff bar it through, mate.
He needs help from trucking mate Johnny Rayner to push his 70-ton rig up a riverbank.
Copy, Jared.
Yeah, mate.
But things are about to go from bad to worse.
You'll never guess what happened. I just ran out of fuel. Because it was sitting over in that gutter. It's drained all the fuel out. Yeah, she's no go.
Just hang 5 there, I'll see what I can do here, and then I'll come back to you.
Right, mate.
Jared needs Johnny to get out of the river. If he can't get Johnny moving, they'll both be stranded.
Just making sure there's diesel in the tank.
It turns out there's plenty of diesel in Johnny's tanks.
It's got fuel there. We'll just try to bleed it up. Righto, give it a crack, mate.
But still, his truck's dead, with no reason why.
So it's not firing, Roger. Being more of a construction sort of a bloke, engines are always my challenge, so not actually quite sure.
With both rigs out of action, the boys need help.
I know there's a job going on at the moment building the new bridge, so I might just give them a call and see if they might have a diesel mechanic there.
But to top it all...
Yeah, copy anyone at the Goyder job.
Johnny's radio is out too.
This one's playing up, so we'll go try on the other truck. How's that? 2 trucks go down in like a minute.
Happy days.
Good boy.
Happy days.
If Jared's to reach his truck, he'll have to haul another load across the river.
Piggyback's more inviting than walking through there where the crocs will be.
Get on, old boy.
And in croc country, Johnny's got even bigger fears.
Boots wet! These songs are shit.
Hey, how you going, Jared?
Yeah, good, mate. I just come a little bit unstuck.
Right, I'll see if I can get a fitter down to you.
Mate, that'll be bloody spot on.
With Johnny out of commission, Jared will have to get himself up the riverbank by hauling his trailers one at a time.
We just dropped one trailer in the river there because we couldn't tow 2 out, and we're just unhooking now to go back and get the other one and hook them back up and try and get out of there. Just tied and all trucked out, I think.
With the job almost done, there's a welcome sight.
Our fitters just arrived to fix that truck, so see if we can work out what's wrong with it.
It should be all good. If it isn't, then it's going to be a long couple of days in the body truck, shunting all this stuff back and forth, but that's what we need to do. That's the way it's going to happen.
But at Johnny's truck, the news isn't good. The engine's fuel filters are full.
Yeah, it's more than ever, sure, eh?
But not with diesel.
Yeah, well, that's water.
On Elcho Island, Steve Graham's 40-ton truck is beached. Getting out of a deep sand bog won't be easy.
I'm going to let my tyres down another 20 pounds. If I can't get myself out of here with the tyres down at 20 pounds, I need some serious help here. It's starting to get to be a hard day's work at the office today, I think.
To add to his woes, Steve's blocking the only main route in this remote wilderness. And it's rush hour, desert island style.
Yeah, go on, mate, sorry. So I'll get my tyres down, I'll try and get moving. Try and get out of the way, mate. Kids want a bit of chicken? Good chicken.
The temperature's into the high 30s with 90% humidity. It's grueling work, but Steve will have to deflate every one of his 22 tyres, while the locals make their own escape plans. But Steve's not going anywhere soon, and behind him, a tropical traffic jam is starting to build up. The last thing Steve wants is to cause problems for the people he's come to help. But the deep sand is hard work for a 4x4, let alone a 40-ton truck. Finally, Steve's ready. The finish line is just 20 kilometres away. But this far from help, if he can't crawl out, it might as well be 20,000.
There's a loaded stock here, like we just give him right away here.
A road train is coming Yogi's way fast.
Yeah, keep coming, bud. You keep coming. I'll get off here as much as I can.
If he doesn't back off, Yogi's precious freight could be hit with a barrage of flying rocks. With no room to manoeuvre, it's going to be tight.
I don't want to be any more further over than what I am there now. No dramas at all, Chief. No dramas.
Despite the close shave, Yogi's goods are all good. But no sooner is he back up to speed than he hits a bad patch of road.
It's one of the roughest bits down through this part of the section, you know.
This section through is terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, steady, steady. You can feel the whole lot just left, right, pushing you around.
With the chains on the 20-ton load under extreme stress, Yogi needs to drive like he's on eggshells.
Got to maintain a constant speed through here and a good throttle control, but just to keep it nice and straight, you know. A nice little tree there.
And at a towering 5 metres high, there's more danger overhead.
Trees, 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 and more trees. These are the brand new headers, these when they're going to a dealership, so no damage. And my whole sole focus in life is no damage.
With 300 kilometres to go, Yogi's pushing his luck and his reputation to the limit. A mechanic has just found the cause of Johnny's breakdown.
Still coming out water, eh?
His fuel tanks are full of water.
Yeah, well, it's not going to run on that. Nah. I'm just thinking that the fuel we got from Catherine might have been a bit dodgy, so yeah, not good at all. That's a fairly big problem that's going to stuff us up now, I think. Tank's full of water, and it's just pumped it straight into the engine.
I thought it looked funny.
Jared fears the water may have damaged the truck's $30,000 engine.
Yeah, that's what all this is all.
How are you? Good, yourself? Oh, been better. This is probably injector, won't it? Oh, right on my bruise.
If he's right, Johnny will have to be towed back to Catherine for repairs, costing thousands of dollars and putting the whole job at risk.
Drain that tank, so we're just going to drain this side and just make sure we get all the water out.
That's the water.
With the water drained out, the boys need to prime the engine with diesel.
These are blowing through or not really?
No, it's not.
By hand.
Yeah. So we'll just have to pump it through. Yeah. That'll. Want to start now, eh?
Yeah, you keen, Johnny.
It's been a hell of a day, but boys will be boys.
Say when, Johnny, and we'll tap out. Go. Oh, we missed. It's an easy motion for a bloke to do this one.
You had plenty of practice, didn't you? Just swapped over. Jared's having a pump now. My arm was getting a bit sore and should be right to go now, hopefully.
Am I right to go, Johnny?
Yeah. Yep. Righto.
Despite their efforts, the truck's still lifeless. In the last 6 hours, Jared and Johnny have gone nowhere.
Pretty knackered. It's the last thing I really want to be doing at 7 o'clock at night, so hopefully she starts.
As the sun sets, there's one ray of hope.
We've got the dirty fuel out, but with these motors you need over 12 volts to make sure they fire. So what we're doing is we're going to chuck the jumper leads on, just get the voltage back up, see if that won't work.
If a jump start doesn't work, the boys will be out of daylight.
Righto, John boy.
and running out of options.
Pull up.
Can't get myself out of here with the tyres down at 20 pound. Need some serious help here.
Steve is ready to try and crawl out of a deep sand bog. Lowering his tyre pressures should help him get traction on the soft surface. If he's wrong, he'll need help from the mainland, costing days and thousands of dollars in delays. He's a long way from home, but this Outback trucker's not beaten yet.
Dropping the tyres to 20 pound worked. It got me out of that bog hole back there. I was worried that whether it would or wouldn't, but it did.
There's just 20 kilometres to go to Steve's destination, but the road's fighting him for every metre.
This jungle is getting to be a bit of a nightmare with scratching the truck, and the paintwork is old as what it is.
To protect his damaged crane trailer, Steve's barely managing walking pace.
I've been at it now 7 hours for just on 40 kilometres. I'm still worried about that engine. I'd like to think I'll get it over the line the last 8 or 10 Ks and get this unit off.
At last, there's signs of civilization.
I'd say I'm nearly there.
After carving his way through the jungle, he's made it to the drop-off. But it's just not Steve's day.
I'm not going to get around here in a fit. Geez, I don't want to twist up that frame with that engine too much, you know. I can back and come across here. I'll do it, mate. Just watch me at the front, and if I'm going to hit a tree or something, just stop me.
After 4,800 hard kilometres, even the last 10 metres are a battle. Finally, Steve's ready to unload the vital solar power equipment.
And now comes the moment of truth. I'm going to give it the big test.
Now the whole job rests on his patched-up crane trailer. Since almost being destroyed, it's been dragged across the sea and through a jungle. If it doesn't work now, Steve will have come all this way for nothing. Yogi and Rob have reached the end of a bruising country back road. The bad news? They've got company. Lots of it.
Now we're on pretty much the South Coast Highway. It's a bit of a tourist route for caravans and stuff, so you're sort of wary of it and you watch out for them.
Every time a car goes past, you're always looking in your mirrors. Have they gone off far enough? And you hope they don't flick rocks.
On the main highway comes a higher speed limit. Now, every car is a threat to their precious load.
They got off in the gravel a bit for us to give us room, but they didn't slow down. They went boring through, you know, doing their 110 and you get pelted with rocks. And, you know, we appreciate them giving us a bit of room, but it'd be nice if they slowed down a bit too.
Every passing is a drama. Jesus.
They're either fearless or they don't know what they're doing.
On the busy road, the hazards keep coming. Up ahead lies an accident black spot, a narrow bridge.
There's one bridge up here that Amanda's got to close. It's on a bend and we come onto a crooked. She has to stop the cars on that bridge.
To get through it, Yogi and Rob must put their trucks and their lives in Amanda's hands.
The bridge will be temporarily closed for 2 oversized vehicles heading south.
She needs to position herself where she can be seen.
With her car blocking the highway, Amanda's risking her own safety to protect Yogi and Rob.
Pretty serious part of the job. It's a pretty dangerous part of the job.
And the bottom line is simple.
We won't fit on that bridge with a car.
Been at it for about 2 hours now. It's starting to get a bit old. Just want to be going again.
Despite every effort, Johnny's truck is refusing to start. Jared has one last idea he wants to try.
We're just going to head back across this little creek and grab the other truck and bring it back. It's got a bit more oomph in the jumper leads than this little truck will have.
With Jared's truck ready, it's the boys' last roll of the dice. If they can't get Johnny going now, it could be the end for the whole job.
Righto, Johnny, give it another go, mate.
After 6 hours of silence, the sound of diesel is music to the boys' ears. And there's no damage to the truck.
Yeah, a bit of relief. It's good to get it going, and it's running smoothly. It hasn't done an injector, so cheers, mate, for coming, eh? Much appreciated. No worries. Thanks to Glenn being here. It's probably about 8 hours quicker than if me and Johnny were still bugging rising around.
The boys have been up since 4 a.m, but there's one more job before a 20-hour day is done.
Definitely been a long night. Yeah, we'll just camp up here and Johnny will start cooking dinner.
While the camp's close, there's a catch. It's on the other side of the river, meaning the boys will have to cross it again, only now in the dead of night.
Pilot on the bridge.
Yogi's closing fast on a narrow bridge. At 5.2 metres wide, he's hogging almost the entire road. And ahead, the bridge is even tighter. While Amanda keeps the traffic at bay, the boys need to hold their line and pray no one decides to ignore her.
They truck on the bridge.
Just got a little one past me now.
With zero margin for error, they're through. And just in time.
You just got to be on your game through here, and it's just all there is to it.
After a high-value, high-stress mission, finally they've reached the drop-off in Esperance. Thanks to everyone's hard graft, the $1 million loads arrived in showroom condition.
So another successful load means another happy customer.
Kendall Trucking has delivered once again.
Happy life, happy wife, another wad full of money in the bank. Thanks for that. We'll wrap this one up, put this one in the bag, big truck up.
Now there's one more deadline to beat, to make it home and see the kids before bedtime. It's been a long day on the road, but Yogi's still got a few tricks up his sleeve. After a punishing day in Arnhem Land, a midnight river crossing is the last problem Jared needs.
You never like to bloody go through a crossing at night, but can't really help the situations you get into.
The Goyder River is deep and wide, with steep banks. It's a dangerous crossing, even by daylight. Hit a hidden rock or sandbar, and Jared could end the day wedged in the middle of the river. While he's through the water, getting out will be even tougher.
This hill coming up for this drama, it's a bit deceiving. It's pretty steep.
With 30 tons of concrete on board, every turn of the truck's wheels is a battle.
Yeah, it feels like it's just hooking in, and I don't want to give it too much power. It's just slowly crawl up.
If he gets bogged now, he'll end the day right back where he started.
Tighten up.
It's Johnny's turn to take on the goiter. Just hours ago, his rig was crippled. But at the end of a brutal day, on the biggest job of his career, he faces the river in the dead of night, in the middle of nowhere. Steve is about to find out if his epic mission to Elcho Island will end in success or failure. If his fragile crane trailer isn't working, he'll lose days and dollars waiting for help from the mainland.
And now comes the moment of truth. That'll do me. That's bloody good news. I'll get this on the ground and half this job done.
After 4,800 kilometres, at last, Steve can unload the precious solar power equipment.
We are all unhooked up there. My next little moment is what these things look inside. And that all looks good. That all looks good. You happy, Errol? Yep. If Errol's happy, I'm happy. Well, that's an absolute relief. I've had a lot of sleepless nights over this.
But Steve's work is far from done.
I've just got to get out of here and go and do the other one.
Back on the mainland, he still has a second container to deliver to the remote community of Ninikay. And from out of nowhere comes a hammer blow.
They've just told me I can't get in by road. Road access is impossible.
There's only one way to get Steve's truck into Ninikay: another barge. And to make things even tougher, Steve will have to race 300 kilometres through the outback to catch it.
The barge can't fit me in its schedule unless I chase it by land.
After a monumental battle to get here, he'll have to do it all again. It's the last news Steve needed to hear.
It's going to do my head in trying to think about Ninikay. I don't even give a